Hi, welcome to your second introduction to HTML tutorial on the series. In this tutorial, we're going to continue from where we stopped in the previous tutorial by introducing more tags and more codes. Okay, so we are gonna start off with the previous document we had, which is example1.html. Well, let's save this file into a new text document, which we'll call example2.html. I'm going to save it as all files on the desktop. I'm going to click on save, and here's our example2.html file. So we'll use this to work on our second example. Let's just change this title to make a difference. We'll call this example2. Doesn't matter whatever you put in your title, they'll always appear the way you type them. Okay, so the next tag we'll learn likely is the h1 tags. So this is the h1 tag. This is a closing h1 tag. Notice how we are embedding our hello world text within the h1 tags. Now the text here, which is the content, will be affected by the h1 tags. So you need to see the output to see what the h1 tag does to the hello world text. So I'm going to click on save. I'm going to double click on example2 to open up in the web browser, and you can see hello world displayed in bold text, unlike what we had in the first example. So this h1 tags that we have here, the duty of the h1 tags is to make the text within it to be a kind of like a header or title that's displayed. When I say header, I don't mean the head tags. I'm talking about the heading of a page, like a kind of a newspaper header. Okay. Now the h1 tags is one of the set of header tags. They all range in sizes. So we have h2. Let's try h2 out. I'm gonna save that, go over to the web browser, observe. You can see h2 is a little smaller size than h1. There is h3. Over to the browser, you can see h3. As you increase, it gets smaller and smaller. Okay, so those are the sizes. Let's leave it at h1. The next tag I want us to learn, by the way, someone may be asking, why am I putting all these extra spaces? Okay, that is what we call indentation. Okay, it's not compulsory to do that, but it's essential to make our code readable, because we'll be typing a lot of code, perhaps hundreds, and without indentation it's gonna look a little messy. Okay, you wouldn't want to see all your tags being justified to one part of this screen in the document. Okay, so indentation helps for code readability and code maintenance. So the next tag I would like us to learn is the comment tag. The comment doesn't appear. The comment tag does not. By the way, any tag doesn't appear on the web browser. Just remember that all these tags do not appear on the web browser. It's only the content within the tags that will appear. So when we have a tag, this denotes the comment tag. You use the angle bracket, an exclamation sign, 2 dashes, followed by whatever you want. So you can say this is a comment, and you close this tag with 2 dashes and a closing angle bracket. So whatever you want to put as a comment must go in between this and this. Okay, now comments are used to explain what is happening in the code, so you can put your comments anywhere, even within the body tags, because they're not gonna display. So we have a comment here. Say this prints So that's a comment. All right, so let's check it out and see what effect it does to the web browser. So we'll go over to the Firefox, refresh, and you can see the comments we typed here. This is a comment. This prints hello world to the screen aren't displayed because they aren't content, just like I said. You can view your HTML programs or any HTML programs on any particular web page by right clicking on the web browser and selecting view page source. You can see over here the page source, the source code I typed over in Notepad. They all appear in this browser window. Okay, you can see our comments are appearing in green and our tags are appearing in red. That's a feature of Firefox syntax coloring. Okay, so next tag I want us to learn is the div tag. The div tag, which stands for division, is used to separate several contents that are within it from other content. You will see the real usefulness of the feature as we move along. So for now, we put the div tag around hello world and around the h1 tags. Go over to the web browser and refresh. You can see the hello world is separated from the top margin of the screen. Okay, so we can put something else within the opening div tag. Okay, and that is called a parameter. So some tags have parameters. So the div tag is just one of them. The parameter here is called align. Align is gonna be used to align the text to whatever justification we want. So the align parameter will have a value. Okay, most parameters are assigned or associated with a value. The value must be within double quotes and it has to follow the equal sign, which is used to assign. So it's like saying align equals whatever you put in here. Let's align it to center. So center is one of the possible values of the align parameter in the div tag. Okay, so we're gonna save that with Ctrl S, go over to the web browser, refresh, and you can see hello world has been shifted to the center. That's because of the align parameter we just added. You want to align it to the right, you simply type right as the value of the align parameter of the div tag. Go over to the web browser, refresh, and you can see hello world is aligned to the right. Okay, all right, so the next tag I would like us to learn is the font tag. The font tag can be used in handling several giving a kind of a font face, font color, font size to the text that we are displaying. Okay, so let's say we had another text here. We can use the font tag within the hello world text though, but I would like us to do that on a separate text. So we will say this is an introductory tutorial on HTML. Okay, just made that up. So we can let's view it on the web browser and see how it looks like. So I'm gonna refresh. So this is an introductory tutorial on HTML. It's displayed here. Okay, so let's add the font tags to that. So I'm gonna type font. And you can see there's no changes on the text with the font tag. Doesn't make any difference. That's because the font tag requires a parameter for it to function or have an effect on the text within it. So what are the parameters of the font tag? One of the parameters is the face. So font face equals, and we'll have to put the value of the parameter here. Now most of you who have been using Microsoft Word or any word processor program should be familiar with the meaning of font. Okay, so the fonts are kind of styles that can be applied to a particular text. So we'll have to put a font face here. One of the font face that is installed in my system is the Arial font. So I'm going to save it, go over to the web browser, observe the changes that will occur here, refresh, and you can see this is an introductory tutorial on HTML. The text we type has changed to a separate style or font face. Okay, so that's one of the font face. There are many font faces installed in my system or your system. To find out other possible font faces that you can use, you have to go to Start, click on Control Panel. I'm actually not used to this view, so I'm gonna select small icons. Then I'll double click on font, and you can see the list of all the font faces that are installed in my system. Arial is just one of them. Okay, so let's look at some other fonts and see how that can affect the fonts we have. Let's try this calls empty regular font. Okay, so I'm gonna come over to Notepad and I'll say calls empty. Let me double check on that to see that I've typed it correctly. Okay, looks like I've got it right, so I'm gonna save it. I note on this, you don't need to type the regular extension of the name of the font, because that ain't gonna work. I've tried that before, it didn't work out. Okay, so I've saved that. We'll go back to the browser, refresh, observe. This is an introductory tutorial HTML, has a kind of funny looking style. Okay, so let's try some other fonts. Go back to the fonts. Let's try this Digiface wide. I'm gonna type Digiface wide. If I spell that correctly, refresh, and you can see this font is displayed in Digiface wide. We can apply the fonts on the header text as well. All we just need to do is to come in here and include the font tag. Notice how we are having tags within tags, and if it gets a little clumsy, you can break it to the next line so that they look more indented and more maintainable. Okay, so that looks nice. So here we are going to add the face attribute to the font tag. I just copied that to paste to save me some typing. Refresh, you can see hello world is displayed here. Let's align that to the center. Okay, align equals center. All right, so that's one of the attributes of the font tag. A particular tag may have many attributes, so we can have some other attributes here. Another possible attribute of the font tag is the size. So size equals, we can say size 4, and you can see this text has grown up in size. We can, let's just go back to a separate font. We can add We can increase the size to, let's say, size 7. That's the largest size you can get. Okay, so the text gets extremely large. All right, any other size larger than 7 won't make a difference. So if you say, let's say 10, go back to the browser, it still remains the same. Okay, so size, let's stick with size 5. That's great. And let our normal text not get greater than the hello world text. Okay, there's one more parameter we can add here. There's a lot more, which you needed a book to kind of reference material to know all the parameters, of course. Now the color, notice how I'm spelling my color. You have to spell it this way. Okay, so we can say blue as a possible color, so observe. Now this is an introductory tutorial on HTML changes to blue. We can try red, some other color. Check it out, there it is. So that's our second tutorial on HTML. We've dealt with the div tag, the h1 tag, the font tag and its attribute. We'll look into more tags on the next tutorial. So I'm just gonna stop this tutorial here for now. I hope you found this informative, and thanks for viewing.